What's up, guys? This is the second episode of the What I Learned from Cancer mini-series. And with the other episodes, I've been wanting to do like short little snippets of motivation, like public places, like the last one I did on a bridge, or at the train tracks, or I want to do like motivating settings, like workouts at 6 a.m. But with this one, I've been getting a lot of questions. And people ask me to answer like over time, and I've been slowly like writing them down. And I picked the top, I think it's eight or nine, and I figured I'd just try and answer a couple of them. All right, the first question I've got is, what were you diagnosed with? All right, so for those who don't know, I don't know what's in the way. All right, for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 2A, when I was 17 years old. All right, so I just turned 19, so it's been about a year and a half, which is crazy to think about. Put it in perspective, I was in high school, and I'm about to finish my first year in college. But yeah, I was diagnosed September 7th, and I will never forget that day. But all right, yeah, let's go to the next question. All right, what was the key to winning your battle? All right, so I had a lot of people ask me this, and I think the number one thing that helped me the most above a lot of other people was positive attitude. And that a positive attitude can go a long way. I know we hear that a lot in like school and everything from parents, but having a positive outlook on just like your life and the way you do things, and like waking up and not making sure that your day does not define you, your mood doesn't define you, but really having a positive attitude. For me, when I was first diagnosed, like as soon as I found out, I was devastated, but then instantly it just flipped it. I'm like, all right, I can use this for something. Let me talk to people. That was like, bam, let me talk to people, because I can use this for something. That was like, I was positive about it as soon as within a couple of days, I was trying to talk to people. I was telling people I was going to be okay and everything. Like, so that was my key, having a positive attitude, and really just took every little blow I took, the weight loss, the ups, and then they came with the downs. All of that I just took with a positive attitude. You got to embrace it. Okay, next question is, what was your diagnosis like? Okay, so let me build up the story here. And this is in my my story with cancer video, if you guys want to watch this, but I'll give you the rundown version. I had been training for football, my fall football season, training hard, lifting weights, like going very, very serious, trying to play college ball somewhere. And like practice was going great. 2 days where I was on point. First, for like game time comes around, like the coaches starting to take notice. Like I'm really making some big steps. And that first game, I was playing both ways, so I didn't leave the field, which was awesome. Like, I love it. Thinking back, it was awesome. But I didn't leave the field. I think it was the third quarter. I've got a picture of it here. I'll put it in like right now, of me sacking the quarterback. Right there, of me sacking the quarterback. And when I tackled him, it twisted, or like he fell on me, and I landed on my chest, and it really hurt. And I figured, like, man, I just cracked a rib. Like, it was a lot of pain. But I kept played through it, and then it was the next week of practice. I practiced 2 days with it, and my sports trainer said, Eric, we might as well go get an x-ray, see what it looks like. So I go there. The doctor says, Eric, your chest is fine, but there's something else there. And he's like, well, it could be nothing, or it could be cancerous. And I'm just like, oh. So they sent me to the hospital, checkups, tons of tests, blood work, all the whole 9 yards. They do a biopsy on my bone marrow and my they take it so it's, the inflammation was in my lymph nodes. So they pulled one of those out and they sent it off. I think like part of it went to Texas, part of it went to California. Like I got sent all over the place. And so this was, I want to say that towards the mid-August, end of August, and all right, I'm rambling, but mid-August, and then so September 7th came around. And I distinctly remember I was in my machine shop class talking to my teacher, Mr. McPeak, and he said, "Eric, there's a call for you. They need you in the office." And I knew that was the call I've been waiting for. So I left class. I had a nice little walk to get to the office, and I just remember thinking on the walk there, it's like, this next 5 minutes is the last time I'll be normal. And after this, my life's never going to be the same again. No matter, either way, whatever happens. And I was completely right. My dad sat me down in the office, and there was a conference room, and he told me, he said, "You might want to take a seat for this." And I was like, "No, I'll stand." Because I just needed to know. And yeah, I laugh about it now, but at the time it was not funny. He's like, "Eric, you've just been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 2A. And, like, my dad doesn't cry a lot, or ever. But I could see he barely got the sentence out. And I was like, man, mom was bawling, and my sister was in shock. And it was just like, I just sat there and I felt the whole weight of the world just lay on my chest. And I felt like I was getting crushed. And I just stood there for a long time. I was like, this is really happening. And it's just a surreal moment when you just realize you've just been diagnosed with cancer. I mean, it happens to so many people. I just never thought I was going to be one of those people. But yeah, it's just a life-changing realization that you got a good, there's a big chance you could die, or like something bad could happen, or you have a rough next year ahead of you. I was lucky that I had only Hodgkin's lymphoma. It could have been leukemia, it could have been a number of things, but I was lucky. It was a very treatable disease. But yeah, it goes into the next question, which was, how long did you do chemo, or did you do chemo? What'd you do? Did you do radiation? And to answer that, the doctor said I was going to be scheduled for 6 months of chemotherapy, because that was according to a lot of people take breaks in between it because they can't do it all at once, or they need to space it out to give the body breaks. I did it in 5 months. Now, granted, I should have waited on the last one because they literally had to carry me into the hospital and out of the hospital. But I was too stubborn to tell the doctor no. But I didn't have to do radiation, thank goodness. They said that, well, if I did the radiation, it would really increase the chance of me having a lot of more problems. And honestly, I'd rather risk having a relapse than having to deal with the heart disease and the lung diseases and all the other problems it could cause. So I'm running the risk of relapse, but I'd rather take those odds than deal with the radiation. But yeah, I did 5 months of chemotherapy. I forget what it was called. I've got it written down somewhere of what chemotherapy I did. But I was on like experimental chemo that was in a trial. They told me that I'm going to be part of a test group for the rest of my life, and that they're going to check up on me and see how I'm doing, see how the treatment did. I'm in like a test group of like 100 other people, other kids. But yeah, I did 5 months, and at first, like the first month, you're like, okay, I can do this. This is light work. The second month, you're like, okay, it's getting kind of hard. The third month, you're like, oh boy, Like this is gonna be interesting, and then that's when it hits, and you're just like, holy crap. I mean, I went from thinking about, I mean, you go from focusing on like what you're gonna do next year, college, to like literally, I was trying to make it every single day. Like I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it through the day, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, if I'm gonna get to tomorrow. Because I was towards as soon as I finished chemo, I was bedridden for a month. I couldn't walk. So yeah, my body had been so weak from all the treatment and everything, but it was just, yeah, I couldn't walk for months, or right at a month, and I finally started walking. But yeah, it was very, very rough. Um, I'm gonna, how did you train during chemotherapy? Okay, so one thing that's made me stand out in the medical field is that I was able to keep up a training regimen during my chemotherapy, which has only been done a couple times. I mean, I'm sure people have done it, but it's only been recorded a few times. People like Eric Berry, and he's a big one, and James Conner plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's my guy, but those two had the exact same thing I did, and they worked out. I remember it was like probably 2 or 3 weeks after I'd been diagnosed, or not even that. And I was looking up people with Hodgkin lymphoma, and I found these two guys, Eric Berry and James Conner. I have had some about Eric Berry, but they both trained through chemotherapy and ended up coming out heavier. So I was like, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So I'd worked out a ton before, and I had to take a ton of time off because of the surgeries on top of surgeries and then diagnosis, and it was just a mess. But lo and behold, I started training, and I kept my intensity up until until my body couldn't take it. But yeah, I think for me, it was more of a stress reliever. It's something I could control. I'll put a couple pictures in here of me training with. I'd have to go to the gym. I tried to work out 4 days a week, maybe 5. Some weeks it got down to like 2 or 3, just the way my chemo cycled. But I had to go to the gym with a mask on. I wore this. Oh, at first I had those cheap little masks that cover your face that all the sick people use, and then I bought my own cool little mask. Looks kind of scary walking around with, but I'd go in, and I really would just do push, pull, legs, arms, which would just be like chest and triceps, back and biceps, and legs, and then arms. So mainly 4 days a week, and I try to do some cardio too. But I specifically remember one day I was in the gym, and it was getting towards the point where things were starting to get rough, because I was able to. One thing that made this journey so crazy was that I was able. At first, when I started training, I actually started gaining weight. The doctors couldn't believe it. They were like, most people are losing weight at this point. You're put on 10 pounds. You've put on 15 pounds. So I started chemo at about 175. And about 3 months in, I was 195. So I'd gained 20 pounds. It wasn't all muscle, because I was just eating as much as I could to put on weight, because I knew it was going to get bad. But they said, this isn't normal. This doesn't happen. And I really do think it's because I started eating a lot more, and I kept training. And I remember I had a couple of my buddies with me, and I was at the gym. I threw up when I got to the gym. No, hang on. I got home from chemotherapy, which is that day I was up a couple hours, and I told Mom, I'm going to the gym. She's like, okay. In the driveway, I threw up. just threw up. And I was like, you know what? I'm determined. I gotta go. So I just pulled out of the driveway, went to the gym. As soon as I got to the gym, I threw up as soon as I opened the door. And there's still a stain in the parking lot. And I park in the same spot every day, right beside that stain. And it motivates me every time. Every time I see it, I'm like, all right, I was at a low. But anyway, I got into the gym. I had a couple buddies with me. I got halfway through the workout, went to the bathroom 15 minutes, just throwing up. It was awful. It was rough. It was terrible. But I told myself, a couple guys, one of the guys went in there and was like, Eric, you okay? And I was like, yes, I'm great. I'm good. I'm going to finish this workout. So I finished that workout. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was not only finishing the workout, but being able to put and then tell everybody that was fine. I mean, I could go on and on about these stories, but just being able to push myself to that point and realizing that I knew I wasn't okay, but I let everyone else think I was okay. And then I began to improve. I began to make those gains when no one thought they were possible. And that's really influenced my fitness career. I mean, not real career, but my fitness goals is like, I'm going to want to stay in shape the rest of my life. It's hands down. Like, that's how it's going to be. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know if that would be my goal. But yeah. Okay. How much weight did you gain and lose? I kind of answered that already. But, so I told you I got up to 195 at one point. I think it was 3 or 4 months in, I got pneumonia. So my luck was going so good, and it finally just ran out. I just ran out of luck, and I got pneumonia, and I got bedridden. I was sick as a dog. It was so bad. I was throwing up, couldn't breathe, couldn't walk. I was bedridden. I just literally had to lay inside, watch YouTube and movies. And here's what scared me is it didn't even bother me because it hurt so bad. Everything, like, there was so much pain that it didn't faze me as much. So it's just looking back, it's just, oh my gosh. But so ended up going from 195. I did my last chemo treatment during the pneumonia, and I dropped all the way down to 160. I want to say 158, 160. And this was probably in a 3-week period of just not being able to do anything. Probably more like 3 or 4 weeks. And like I said in the beginning of this, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. It destroyed me. Like, I'll put up a comparison of like mid chemo and after chemo. But I literally went from in shape, decently in shape. I was pretty cut, and to bulky, 195, 190ish, then all the way to anorexic, like just skin and bones. Oh my gosh, looking back, I can't believe it was real. Oh man, it was surreal to think, but that's how I ended up finishing it all. And it took me over a year to recover from that. Like, I kept saying, I think I was recovered, but to get those motor skills, and I still don't have all the motor pathways. Like, I've got some nerve damage in my hands, and there's this thing called drop foot, where you're walking, your foot drops just because nerve damage, and I'm still not fully recovered. But I'm in great shape now, but it definitely takes a toll on your body. But all right, 2 more questions. Where did you do treatment at? I did treatment at Roanoke, Virginia, over at the Children's Pediatric Unit. At the time, since I was 17, I was in the pediatric unit, and I just turned 19 now. But I'm still in the pediatric unit because I can't leave that. There's people. There's my boys and girls. But um, I will tell one more story, and I could go on and on about this hospital. I want to shoot another video there, or I shoot a video there. But the first time I got there, this story will never leave my mind. But I think about it all the time. I even wrote an essay on it. The first time I walked in, there was this girl, little girl, probably 6 or 7 years old, and you walk around with your chemo thing. Like, it's just administers chemo. You can walk around with it, because I used to try and walk around the hospital with it. But there was this little girl, and she just had a big smile on her face. And I hadn't started chemo yet. This is my first time. And she was just walking down the hall with her dad. And I looked at him, and I could see the pain like in his eyes. And as he walked, he just nodded, and the little girl like kept walking. And I found out later that she had leukemia, and her survival ratings were very low. And I don't know what happened to her, but I I never got to find out. But she had been battling for a while, and he told me the drugs were it was taking a toll. But I mean, I prayed and prayed. I hope she's okay. But it's one of those mysteries of the world I'll never know. But all right, last question, and I'm done. I'm at 23 minutes right now. But what is one thing you wish you could do differently? Looking back, the one thing I regret so freaking much was back then I was starting to get into vlogging and filming and videography, and I didn't start filming yet. I wanted to vlog. People said I'd be great at it, but I was not brave enough to film myself during chemo, and I really wish I had. I've got some clips of me working out and stuff, and some tons of pictures and stuff, and I have some footage of me talking. But I really wish I filmed, just put something out. I think that would have been some very eye-opening footage of me going through my chemo. But alright, so that was all the questions. I've got tons of more stories. If you like this little setup with the podcast and interview sort of thing and the Q&A, please let me know. Comment below what you'd like to see if you even like this series. But yeah, let me know what I should do next, because I really like this one-on-one sort of thing. I really want to get 2 people in here and see if we could do something with that and start talking and maybe do some podcasting. But yeah, I've been working on a lot of projects lately. I'm up. It's like 2 a.m. right now, and I don't plan on going to sleep anytime soon. But yeah, I have a ton of ideas, and if you like these little stories, if you like what I'm doing right here, please let me know. All the support's amazing. I mean, you guys have been great to me so far, accepting me into the community. But yeah, it means a lot that you guys are just tuning into this. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I love you guys with all my heart. And like I do in my other videos, deuces.